Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gooey's Dungeon Dive. It's Gooey here with Corey.
Yo, yo, yo.
And we are here. You didn't see it, but I braved Caster Wilds and the Wind Ruins, and I did all kinds of sort of running around the overworld to get these fancy boots here.
Oh, it happened.
We learned all about that. We got the bow, I think that's new. And we're ready to take on our next dungeon, the Fortress of Winds. And we're just gonna dive in here.
Going
Look at
straight
this.
in the first door.
We're gonna do a little bit of an experiment later.
Ooh.
But for now, we're gonna go straight ahead. To think the ruins were hidden within the cliffs the whole time. Exactly. Watch your step. So we've already got our theme established here. This is going to be a ruins traps. You know, we've been here before, and of course, yeah. This reminds me a lot of some of the Oracle vibes. You know,
I could see that.
Skeletons in the crypt. Always good stuff.
I can't hear it right now, but I was paying attention to it as I was playing. I think, mentioning the Oracle games, some of these Capcom Zelda games have some good music, but I think the Capcom Zelda games tend to have one or two more stinkers than the regular Zelda game. I'm gonna say this dungeon theme is not a good one, in my opinion.
Okay.
Hot take, I know.
Yeah, you know, it's all right. I would say it's not the best, so I wouldn't diss you for that. So right away here we've got two locked doors.
Whoa.
Count them, two, as we made it past the blade traps. But we do have a big chest here where we get the map. So okay, if you've gone straight, which I think, you know, that's probably a good instinct. It's off to a good start, because then now I've got this great view of and would you look at that? I'm seeing loops. I'm seeing loops
As well. That's kind of how that floor is set up. The layout of this dungeon is very interesting.
So there's a little area here where
Ooh.
can't do nothing there.
I think now.
You know, a little tease. And another little tease.
What's all this? Okay. What's all this Swiss cheese around here?
Oh, the Swiss cheese. Yeah, it's the cheese dungeon. Okay, so here, I actually went straight forward, but here we're actually presented with a couple different directions we can go right in the beginning, and I went forward for thematic purposes there, but I don't know, Corey, if you gotta. Now, my instinct is to always go left, but I don't know if you got a ketchup packet around or something.
Ooh. Oh boy.
And I just kind of want to we don't normally do this because we've shown off the previous dungeons a little bit more linear. I want to I know kind of ideal route here, and I'd like to, you know what I mean, shake things up if we can.
Unfortunately, shockingly, there are no ketchup packets around me. However, I have a dog tag, so we can go.
Okay.
We can go blank side or rabies vaccinated side.
Okay, rabies vaccinated. Right for rabies.
Right for rabies.
Left is blank.
Okay.
Yeah. Give it a flip.
We're going left.
All right, we're going left. So that's my normal instinct, and I think honestly this is the thing about this dungeon actually, is if you like happen to go the optimal route, like just go the way you're supposed to go, like there's still a bit of trickiness, but like it seems like the dungeon's not too hard either way, but it seems like definitely a more like complex dungeon. If you, well, I guess you could say that about any dungeon, but I feel like this is one you can like go on a very convenient path.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You could also not.
Yeah, when I was playing this, I actually went right first, and then I went left, and then I went through the center. So just kind of going through this whole thing, I did get turned around a few times, but like it's not a very. I never felt like lost or anything. It's a pretty straightforward layout, you know. But I did feel like I had to backtrack a little bit because especially because those Swiss cheese blocks are blocking the way in some of the upper rooms. So
Yeah, the center way I went. Oh, and here's a little stinker.
oh, Ruby likes.
Yeah, especially if you don't go, up first there. It can also have, like, that really is like stuff you could encounter later with keys and maybe something for that Swiss cheese where it's like, oh, okay, like this part now, but we've been teased with it. Actually, you get teased with it all over though, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Right from the first
cheese
room.
is here.
Cheese all over the place, man.
All right, let's see if I'm trying not to mess this up. I was struggling with this a little bit in my practice, not my my initial gameplay where I was gathering my thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I nailed it.
That's a fun little timing element there with the bow. That's kind of neat.
These guys we saw a lot of in
Caster Wilds.
Caster Wilds, yeah.
And we start getting some dungeon puzzles with our new ability to split ourselves with these little glowing tiles.
We also had a little bit of that in the overworld. Oh gosh. I've been having I don't want to blame it on the controller, but I've been having some minor Joy-Con issues lately where I don't know if maybe I just got a lot of wires going on here, but there's some interference where I'll be like, I missed a shot earlier, like, because it didn't fire. But okay, see, now we are taking a pretty optimal route though. Yeah, so
got the dungeon, got the compass.
Yeah. So if you like go the one way, oh, see, he's holding the sword there longer than I wanted. If you go the one way, you get blocked off, but you obviously get the map, and then now we've got the compass, so it does set you up pretty well for in case you need it. Oh no! All right, try again. There we go.
You got it.
Nice. And then we get there's always a nice refill for you. Oh no! We've got some ropes.
This is something else that is popping up in this dungeon already. Like, we haven't really used it very much, but you can see the floor below through these holes, and you can fall down there and do stuff. But it doesn't really... There's nothing... They don't use anything crazy with that, It's just kind of an element
that's
of,
true.
Oh, there's holes in the floor.
Right. We're gonna... Wait, I did this wrong, didn't I?
No, you did it right.
Oh, no, we did. Yeah, you gotta reset.
Yeah. That's a neat thing, because it's like, you would think that you can only push the block one way, but it's like, no, I got it in the right spot, now I gotta push it up.
You have to push that block to the left there so you can squeeze both your links in here without getting messed up. Yeah, I will say with the multi-layer thing, they definitely do it. It's always in very, like, specific moments like this, where it's like... Yeah. You got the key, now go get it, Yeah. So it's a bit more... did something just fall? Like, yeah, you never have to do any, like... There's more puzzles I think in, like, A Link to the Past or something like that, where...
Exactly.
Kind of falling down at the... There is a little bit of that in here.
That's fun.
Okay.
But it's kind of just like a shortcut so that you don't have to go back down the stairs. And that's something that, like, I'm thinking of, like, Angler's Tunnel Link's Awakening. We have a puzzle where a key drops down a hole, and it's like you gotta find that through other means. You can't just jump down the hole after.
Alright, flip a dog tag.
Alright.
Right we go... Rabies we go right.
Rabies right.
Otherwise we're gonna use one of the keys. We just got a key. And we know we got 2 locked key doors.
We're going right.
Alright, we're going right. Oh. Well, whoa. I think... Well, so I'll just show this off briefly, because it's kind of like a tease.
Yeah.
Ooh. How do we get the... This is kind of like one of the... Actually, this is one of the... This is kind of a Wind Waker-y thing about it, where I think this is actually one of the most interesting puzzles.
Yes. Using
the verticality, but that's all optional.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
We could have made that a key or something.
It's a neat little puzzle. Yeah, that definitely could have been a key.
Ow.
But I agree. That was one of the most like. It forces you to use the different mechanics together to like get to find your way into that room. That's pretty neat.
Something you might not. You have to like think about
Yeah.
the full space of the dungeon and like think outside of an individual room and an individual puzzle. We'll show off how that puzzle works if I remember to do it. I think I forgot to do it when I was practicing. So we'll see. Oh gosh, I can't even ladder right now.
Can't ladder.
I'm falling apart.
Do you even ladder?
Okay, stop
These
it.
guys are tough.
They're annoying. Ow. Okay, so we just got a bunch of cheese still. We got a little lock
Button puzzle.
situation. Oh, a button puzzle. So, aha.
We first saw these guys in the lead up to this dungeon, right?
Yes, there was a series of puzzles where you had to. I don't know what's the right one. I'm gonna guess. A series of puzzles where, you know, there's these guys who run around, but there's also some who are not activated. Oh wait, you know what? Nope. Hold on.
What?
Yeah.
Cheating.
But there's also these ones here who do not wake up.
Unactivated, yes.
Yeah, so we get a little thingy here. I believe. Yep. Where?
What do you think of this aesthetic so far?
Just the vibe of the dungeon?
Yeah, just the vibe.
I like it. I think, yeah, you pointed out the music. I do think, like, the music could have helped hold the vibe a little bit better, for sure. So now he's active, so we can, do this. We can go fight him. But yeah, I think it does the classic, you know, ancient, like, crumbling ruins thing pretty well.
Yeah.
And, like, I do think the mechanics, the gameplay mechanics tie well into the theming pretty well, I would say. So we killed him. Oh, I didn't pull the... Oh man, that would have been bad. So there's our next key. So now we're seeing, like, if we're talking about the sort of, you know, there's somewhat of non-linearity here. Now we have both the keys to both the locked doors we previously witnessed.
There's options. That is neat. That is something I appreciate too.
Here's our little puzzle here. Can I get this?
No.
Okay. But it's there for us. But we're tiny now, so we can go. So that's a good puzzle.
Neat.
Gotta
That's
get
neat.
tiny and then drop down.
I like that. For a heart
And
piece too. That's
it's
a
for
good,
a nice reward.
Yeah, it's a good reward.
This is did Wind Waker have a lot of heart? It didn't really have heart pieces in dungeons, right?
I don't think so. Probably not.
there's one of these you can push.
I'll let you figure it out because I did the same
Oh
thing.
my. Yeah, well, this is, I guess, you know, we're showing off a
Trial
classic
and
part
error.
of this. There it is.
you go.
Wow. Why not just make any of them work?
Yeah, that was the last block I pushed when I was trying to.
But yeah, that's something I feel like. So there's almost like a second phase of the Zelda dungeon formula we're starting to see coalesce, and I think the loops are a big one, and then I also think like Twilight Princess especially adds a lot of like collectibles, like, you know, it has all those heart pieces that you can collect as well as other things. So I think they're really trying to up that, like the 100%ing dungeons, like giving you a lot of things to look for. While I fight these guys, do you want to flip a dog tag?
Yes.
We're leaving it up to fate here.
Raby's right. We're going right.
All right, so let's see what the right door has in store. Oh, here's one that I think is there's a similar puzzle in a lot of Zelda games, but I feel like it is not threatening here.
For
He's
some
like,
reason, I thought you had to use the boots.
You can just freaking roll.
You can just roll.
It's
That's
oh
neat.
no. All right,
Yeah,
we don't want to
these-
get caught by these bad boys.
Lore Masters are bad news.
Look at these kinstones, though.
That's a good haul.
I want to say I've been having a little bit more fun fusing kinstones this time around.
Very nice.
Do we want to use that? Probably, right? Maybe not yet. Okay, it goes through there. I don't remember the specifics of this, but we're just gonna go through.
I definitely came through here a couple times.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, oh, I would say we could. Here's another. It's a slight bit of, you know, you could go through here.
Yeah.
Or do this puzzle and freaking get the key, which
Yeah.
is not that big of a deal.
You could use that key to continue this route, but then eventually you'd find your way back to the other door and be like, oh, I'm missing a key.
Yeah, so, you know, that's cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like, hey, you put the key right outside the room, but, you know, there's enough going on.
It has you do a nice little puzzle. This is kind of creative, actually, because it's like, immediately, you know, alright, I have to press these two switches, but they're putting obstacles in your way to make sure that you get there without, you know, without breaking your little doppelganger.
Yeah, you have to really think about this, which I've already done it a bunch of times, so I kind of remembered the gist of it right away. So we're kind of underselling how actually this one I think kind of was a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah.
You know, before.
Some pretty good use of the splitting mechanic right off the bat.
Ow. Don't run into the spikes, I will say. Alright, so I know eventually we gotta use that small thing. We got to.
Yeah,
this I think just leads us back. So that's nice. That's a nice little...
This dungeon does do a pretty good job of, you know, you get to a spot and then it's like there's like a few things you can do. You know?
Yeah, so we're just gonna keep going this way and seeing what we can encounter here. While we're we got cheese.
Swiss cheese.
We got some cheese.
What a disaster.
So I don't think
Now you can't do anything. It doesn't look like.
yeah, I don't think being small benefits us at this moment.
So you just went through that whole loop for nothing.
Dang. Alright, so we have our other key though. And
Yeah,
luckily the dungeon is...
It does lead you right back to it, so that's nice. But that is something that kind of happened to me frequently. It was like I would follow a path and then realize I couldn't do anything there yet, or I didn't have the item I needed yet, and then be like, alright, well, gotta walk back and go somewhere else.
They mitigate it for sure. Which I feel like, oh shit. That was scary. I was genuinely afraid. I forgot that guy comes down.
Yeah. Sneaky. Sneaky.
What is this, a fight? Oh, this is a fight.
Oh, yeah.
So I like, yeah, whenever I see people fight, oh shoot, these fellas.
Yeah, I want to see your strategy.
Well, the actual strat that I see people do is like a really weird thing that I feel like you would not think to do if you were sword fighting, but I just kind of block, and then they're kind of exposed to the left a little bit where their sword is.
That's a good idea.
And it's actually I kind of like that. Kind of like that fight.
Yeah, those guys are the Dark Nuts in this game are very fun to fight, I think.
Oh my goodness, this is very like gotta keep going. It's very Indiana Jones almost. Maybe well, no, okay. Get some bombs, nice. Oh yeah, we're gonna need those actually.
Bombs.
I think actually, okay. See, if you're walking through here normally, you'd slash and you'd be like, "What'd I go through this loop for?"
To do.
Minish Cap, I actually think has pretty nice, especially if we're looking.
Yep.
Looking at your map.
You're like, wait a minute.
If you really didn't know, Minish Cap does a lot of good, less. They don't just do like the typical cracked wall, you know. There's a lot of puzzles like that. I gotta give it props for. We got the mitts.
The mole mitts.
Dig, dig, dig to your heart's content. And these are pretty...
Scoop that Swiss cheese right out of there.
Pretty satisfying to use.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, big money. Big money.
I'm the kind of guy where, like, I see a big block of Swiss cheese, and I have to dig the whole thing out.
Okay, yeah.
You know? I gotta clear the whole screen of this cheese. But that's something
there's a lot of ways we can go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because now it's like, this is another part of the dungeon where it's like, now that you have this, you can go to all of those places where you saw that Swiss cheese build up, but it was everywhere. So it's kind of just like follow whichever path you want, and see. What's
I feel like it reminded me a lot of Link's Awakening because, spoilers, one of the places you go gives you the dungeon key, and then the other place just leads to the boss. And so it reminded me of like Link's Awakening, where it's like it's not really that crazy the stuff you got to do. There's like only like two, and then there's like an optional thing you can go dig out, like goodies. But it's like it's spread out so well that it really makes it kind of a journey and sort of a puzzle to remember where that stuff was, you know?
Yeah.
Something I really enjoy about this dungeon. We're not gonna dig out all these mold worms.
Leave them in there.
They're fine in here.
Leave them there to rot.
So that brings us... Ow. Oh no, I'm missing a key. Oh no.
See, this is what kept happening to me is I would follow a path and then be like, oh, well, I gotta go back. A lot of backtracking for me on this time around.
This is very cool though. A lot of like I said, when I did mine, I did pretty much like the perfect optimal route, and it was like, oh, this is maybe a little too simple, you know. Now, of course, we didn't go through there. We haven't made use of our tininess, so.
This is a fun little... This kind of reminds me of some of the stuff that was introduced in Cave of Flames, where it's like now you're traveling through multiple rooms as a little guy. But this is even more so because it's like now you gotta deal with some enemies, and then you got the big rolling spikes, and you gotta worry about the pits, and...
It's not so obvious, too.
Yeah.
Like, where you have to go. Like, I kind of purposely avoided it here, but I feel like you could miss this pretty well.
Yeah, definitely.
You could think like, you could be in this room thinking, how does that platform in the bottom left?
Yeah.
So, but oh, here we are. And actually, I was gonna, like, this I believe leads to just a key. So that's actually gonna solve our problem here.
So I did that before I had the mole mitts. So it's like, oh, well, gotta come back to this room later.
Oh, of course.
I do like, I really like the way, what you were saying before with the way they handle bombable walls and stuff. I really like that they just stuck the dungeon item behind a not cracked bombable wall. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, because then you that is one where, I mean, they do a good job of hinting, but it's not too overt. Like, you've got the skulls there, and then there's bombs in a pickup in like the room next to it, but not like right by it. You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people, it could encourage them to eventually, I mean, maybe get lost and look at their map, you know?
Yeah.
And then go like, oh, it's right here is where I have to go. So we've got a skull, a classic tile skull.
That's
We're
very
just gonna go the right way.
And that actually is something that we were just mentioning. You know, that's
weird looking big key.
That is very weird, not red eye. But that's exactly like in A Link to the Past puzzle, where it's like 2 holes in the floor, you gotta fall through one, and it brings you to one side of the room. That is using that verticality.
And it's a pain in the butt if you just gotta backtrack.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a pain in the butt, but we've got what we need you know, we've got the things you need to head to the end, but I think there's a little bit of extra goodies here, right? So a very unique room, actually, where there's just whiz robes.
Whiz robes. First time seeing whiz robes.
Yeah, and you could totally miss them.
Yeah.
Like, you could not
80 mysterious
come in this room. Let's take a look. You know, we haven't been 100%ing this necessarily, but I think I got everything right.
Yeah, it looks like the only rooms are going up to the dungeon boss.
Let's go do it.
It's a very symmetrical dungeon.
Yes, yeah, it is designed like that's what I think too makes it wait, I forgot. I have to go right still. It makes it like so if you are trying to navigate like it's somewhat memorable. They do a good job of like it's not got the center room, but you can always kind of center yourself, you know. And so it's a good middle ground between being like a little confusing but also you know, like not kind of straightforward. Oh no, we forgot. Because if you're like, oh, you know, if you're trying to think of all the places you need to go, like, there's really not that many.
Yeah.
I
agree, and that's why, like, for some reason, some of the, I don't know, like the.
Kind of want to get
like
that
right there. It's like you're going outside almost, but you're not going outside. So some of these doors, it's like this doesn't really make sense to me, but I just keep going and follow the route because it really isn't that, you know, you're not really gonna get lost in here because it is so symmetrical and there's only a certain amount of doors all lined up in a row. So
yeah, it's a nice middle of the road, or not middle of the road, like slightly above average difficulty, I would say. Where like you're really just gonna you could get looped or like get, you know, like how you did, where it's like, oh, I went this way and I'm kind of blocked off, but the next time you need to go that way, you just kind of loop back, you know.
I could definitely see this dungeon being challenging for a new player, because I could see them just like getting confused about. Oh yeah. Classic.
All right, we're ready for the boss.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's open this big old door. Oh.
Just kidding.
Not quite.
You got a little refill room. Whoa.
We got a cool golden statue.
Whoa.
Oh, it's lighting up. The platform is gone. Oh.
Boom. 2 hands. We got a bongo like.
We got a bongo on our hands. Oh no. This boss is I screwed up my sword. There we go. Oh shoot. I like this boss a lot.
Me too. This is a very fun boss.
It's
this
classic.
Guy's name is Mazal.
Mazal?
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna shoot. I like to shoot both the hands separately.
Okay.
It's annoying to try to shoot the like the second one while. Oh. Is he?
Oh, it took too long.
Oh. Oh no!
Oh, you got snatched.
Unhand me, you fiend! Okay. Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of hard to shoot it when it's just the one hand, eh?
The presentation for this boss is excellent, I think.
Oh yeah. And so I like this one because it's the other hand woke up. Danger. This is like this is a bad Mazal. Oh my gosh.
Unoptimal Mazal here.
I know. If we could be seeing
You got it. And
now,
the head falls
down.
down.
This is also really hard, I think, if you don't know the order of operations, because oh, we don't have to do that yet, because like then you gotta get him from the inside.
That's so cool. You shrink down, go inside. I like it too because like you have to piece it together, you know, because there's just like a few black pixels in it, like where his mouth are. That's like, oh, that kind of looks like a door, and then you see the shrinking down platforms, and it's like, what are those there for?
Yeah, it's not like door here.
Yeah.
All right, just gonna go ahead and do this one. Okay. No. Oh no, not the
Making-
rocks.
making-
Oh,
Making
forgot
little
about these
spider
guys.
fall.
oh no. Oh no!
You're getting got.
Release me!
His strategy's working on you very well.
Oh my gosh. Alright, let's get that fella out of here. Shoot!
Oh, the other one
I'm-
woke up.
I was having a bit of a Joy-Con lag there.
Uh-oh.
Blaming the controller, of course. But here, we're back in the saddle.
There we go.
Yeah, see, and that, yeah, so that's the thing, like, I mean, I didn't struggle too hard in practice, but I feel like it does give me a challenge, like, and I think this is to credit to the game, like, that's convenient right there, that it happens to be that one. I think each boss, you know, the first two aren't too tough, but I definitely think, like, they can both present a challenge, especially for a first-time player. And I do feel like it fairly increases. It's been pretty steady throughout the game so far.
Yeah.
Alright, stop doing your little thing. Oh man, someone's getting excited.
Whoa.
Oh no, not these guys.
These guys, those little
Oh,
red,
okay. We
little
took 'em
red
out.
spider guys.
Okay, see, I'm not bad, I can do it.
You got it.
Alright, I think, and so yeah, it gets, you have to do, like, you have to do this part pretty quick, too. I believe is there a time limit on this? Actually, there might not
Yeah,
be.
I think there is. If you don't do it in a certain amount of time, you get, like, lifted out.
Look at that.
He's exploding.
what's-
All the TNT hiding in these bosses' bodies.
See, I think that's a great boss, because it's both, like, you gotta figure it out, and even once you know how to do it, it's still a fairly, you know, good challenge.
That's a keep you on your toes boss right there.
Oh, definitely. Now let's go get, I didn't even say, we're on our way to get the third element, and oh man, we got some
This is a very cool.
beautiful birds here.
Yeah.
We are the tribe of winds. Long have we lived in the winds. We have mastered them. Now join them. Alright, they're all about the winds
Big
now,
wind,
but
big wind fans.
they took off. They're in the
Yeah, they're like,
skies.
we're not here anymore.
Zephyr taught him some notes.
Hmm.
And a bird.
A little blue birdie guy drops off an ocarina.
Remnants of A Link to the Past influence, I think, there.
Yep.
Alright, so yeah, the Tribe of Winds, they're gone. They've left. They've taken that last element we need, so it's kind of a little bit of a tease, but
Yeah.
guess what? This whole time I was playing leading up to here, I was like, man, I wish I could warp around. And now we
Now
got
you
the
can
warp.
do it.
So that's somewhat satisfactory. And Eslo, yeah, we know.
It wasn't here.
We gotta open a new path. Oh,
Go
we
get
will.
that last element. Do you think that's you think the ocarina's a good enough substitute for not getting the element?
Yeah, who cares about the element? I mean,
That's the quest.
They're just the MacGuffins,
Yeah.
right? Like,
It's
oh
just
no,
the
I
thing.
I have to do another dungeon.
Yeah.
Like that sounds
Yeah.
great. There's maybe we'll get to it, but there's arguably not enough dungeons in this, so you know.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we're out here, we're chilling. Link is he's blinking. That's cool.
You'd be blinking.
Yeah, this is a fun dungeon. Let's switch over and let's rank it on our list. So Corey, how did you go about ranking this on your list? Or have you ranked it? Or where are you putting it?
I haven't really ranked it. I know generally where it's gonna go. I'm having some trouble though, because luckily
The best in this game.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
You know, something about this dungeon. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's that I don't like the music. Maybe it's that I'm not fully sold on the aesthetic because it's like ancient ruins, yeah, but for some reason it feels very non-distinct ancient ruins to me. It just kind of feels like you could say this was in a cave elsewhere in the world and I would be like, yeah, it looks about the same. You know, there's nothing
Okay.
there's not a ton to me that makes this dungeon stand out. And this is not a dungeon that I typically look forward to playing through, but watching you play through it and playing through it myself, I'm coming to appreciate some of the stuff it does and some of the puzzles that are there that I do like. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm kind of conflicted because like I can appreciate that it's a good dungeon, but I don't personally enjoy it that much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Yeah, okay.
I'm looking. Luckily, I have Deepwood Shrine and Cave of Flames on my list right now are only like 3 spots away. So at least,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at the ones above Deepwood Shrine. Even if I decide to put it above Deepwood Shrine, it's not going far because that's like the bottom threshold of the dungeons that I think are great, and I don't really think this breaches that quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go above Deepwood Shrine, it's only going just there. But I also don't
Okay.
think. I think I'm going above Cave of Flames. Now the question is above or below Deepwood Shrine?
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Above.
think.
Okay.
I think. All right. So my spot, I'm gonna put it exactly 1 spot below Deepwood Shrine. I think.
Okay.
I
Okay.
still
Wow.
think Deepwood Shrine does it for me more. And it's not, you can't really argue that this is definitely more navigationally complex and has a little bit more difficult puzzles, but the way that Deepwood Shrine does things and streamlines things for an intro dungeon and takes a lot more of those big puzzles like the burning the spider webs and or not burning the sucking up the spider webs in the big barrel and falling down, and then you get the whole semi-water section. I think it's just a lot
Mm-hmm.
more of a fun ride for me. Whereas this one, it's
Okay.
still, I can appreciate the things I like, especially Mazal. Mazal is one of my favorite bosses in the game, which I think is really cool.
For
But
sure.
it might just be me that I come in this dungeon and all that Swiss cheese is everywhere, and I just want to like go everywhere and claw up everything, and that kind of disorients me almost. So I'm not really thinking about the best way to go about things. I'm kind of just going from room to room until, like I said, I hit a dead end, and then I have to go back or I have to follow the loop and just keep
Mm-hmm.
going. So I think this is one of those
For sure.
dungeons where I tend to spend more time in there than I need to.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going
Yeah,
right below Deepwood.
I feel I can respect that. I can respect that. I will agree with you to an extent on the aesthetic. I think
Hmm.
the other two dungeons beat it slightly in that regard in terms of the
Hmm.
vibe and the charm factor. Though I don't think of the vibe, I think it works mostly. Um, and I actually kind of think it's cool because it's kind of thematic. You said it could be like, feels like it could be in a cave or something, but I feel like it's very thematic with like the surrounding region in a cool way. Um,
Okay, yeah,
so
that's
it,
true.
it worked for me with that, especially we see a lot of elements from the overworld be brought into the dungeon and used as puzzles, and I kind of appreciated that. And I liked how, like I was saying, like some of the puzzles were thematic in a way. Like, oh, you have to go inside the statue and like turn it back on.
Yep.
Like that's kind of cool. But I definitely don't think it has the same sort of charmingness as the other two
If
dungeons.
I think I would probably appreciate it more if we didn't have the other, not even just the other Capcom games, but the other Zelda games that have similar aesthetic dungeons. Like I'm comparing it to even Oracle of Seasons. What's that one?
Explorers Crypt.
Yeah, Explorer's Crypt. and then you got like Ancient
That
Tomb
one
and
is-
stuff. And I think both of those kind of feel a little bit more
Oh, yeah,
distinct to me compared to this,
For sure.
where it's like, this kind of just feels like, I can tell everything's falling apart. There's a lot of dirt everywhere, and there's a lot of skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, even that's cool. Like the dirt element
Yeah,
is.
that
I feel
is
like
neat.
that's kind of cool. Like digging through.
That's
It's a
something
really cool kind of item, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's something that, you know, I would say something this game does really well is getting visual elements across in ways that other 2D games couldn't, just because it's got such great pixel art and such a higher pixel count. And I think it's probably has something to do with the game development, but like that dirt doesn't look
Yeah.
like piles of dirt. It looks like big blocks of Swiss cheese.
Okay,
So that's probably part of it, is I don't feel like I'm uncovering stuff that's been buried for centuries. I feel like I'm getting rid of this cheese.
Okay. I will say too, like I don't know. The cheese didn't fully come across like that for me. So I didn't have that issue. I do think it's not an item you get that like radically alters like the game necessarily. It makes it so like, oh, you can get through here. But you know, there's some fun little moments with it and stuff. So I don't want to totally take away from it. But I do like the dungeon in terms of like, I do like how it's laid out and stuff. And I like that. I'm okay with like, it has the things that I've kind of been like unsure about, of like looping and shortcuts that like make it a little too like, here you go. But I feel like this dungeon has enough of that in reasonable places while still like this has been, I think, a good step up in terms of complexity from the first two. It is a little bit more tricky, but I still feel like it's manageable, because I personally feel like if you like, you know, if you do the right loop and you hit a dead end, then it's just like, okay, you go to the center or you go to the left and see what's over there, you know.
Sure, yeah.
And then like the boss, I feel like the boss is maybe my favorite in the game.
Yeah, the boss
So,
is,
at least so
Mazal
far.
is a very fun boss.
So
creative.
I do just want to give it from like a gameplay sort of perspective. I think it's the best dungeon, even if it didn't succeed as much on the vibe aspect, but it wasn't enough where like I would still put this above Deepwood Shrine for me. I think so far it's the best dungeon. But then I'm similar to you. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I honestly don't know how much higher I really could put it.
Yeah.
Like even though like it reminded me of one of the, like, actually the ones we're looking at here, I forgot which number dungeon Unicorn's Cave is, but Angler's Tunnel is dungeon 4. Key Cavern is dungeon 3. It reminds me of kind of those, like that part of the Link's Awakening games.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Which-
yeah, it's kind
That
of
kind of makes sense with the number of dungeons that are in this game. This is I would kind of consider this like entering the mid game dungeons pretty much.
yeah. So I think honestly, this is kind of tough actually. I honestly might be with you where I might just plop it right ahead of Deepwood Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it there for now, which I feel bad because I was thinking of all the dungeons in the game. I was like, this is one that I might really just love, and it'll be like, okay, I can have some high Minish. I guess we'll see. We still have more to cover, obviously, but I'm like, ooh, was this the best I could get? It was a really good dungeon. I would even say it's a great dungeon. But
That's fine.
there's just so much hot competition in the Zelda series. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I have one of my favorite dungeons is in the top 20s to 30s areas, like some of my favorites. But then I look, I'm like, a lot of these are my favorites. So
yeah.
it shouldn't. I feel like it reflects okay on the game because it's kind of, it's almost where a dungeon at this point in the game should be. But I don't know. I'm hoping. I want to see what we got coming up next. I guess what the game will give us.
We got more.
This is now. I feel like, so you have it in like the 20s. I've got it a little bit lower, but I feel like once again we're kind of on the same page here.
Yeah, we're still kind of matching up. Similar placements.
Yeah,
there's similar ideas at least.
I think all of our like big well, I don't know. We even up top we have a lot of things we like similar, but like I feel like with the past few even seasons, like we've been slightly more aligned. So
yeah, it's true. We'll see how that continues, Yeah,
I wonder what's to come. I feel like we're on a similar page, and then we have like some outlying differences.
Yeah, one or two that are completely different. Well, it's funny because like this, we just both ended up placing Fortress of Winds very similarly, at least like in the context of where Deepwood Shrine is on our list, but we came about our decisions in like almost the reverse way, because I was like begrudgingly like, yeah, well, I guess I should put it higher because it's got some good stuff in it, but like I don't really feel that great about it. And you were like, I'm really liking this, but I don't think I can put it too much higher because I got so many other dungeons I like,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I will say I think I'm starting to see something like similar to how I have with some of the other games like Seasons or whatever, where I sort of get an area that I feel like the game is sort of performing at, and it's like, yeah, okay, this is kind of like the level this game is on for me in terms of some of the other games. Whereas like other games then have like a wide spread,
Mm-hmm. When we introduce our new statistic at the end of the season,
I forgot about this one.
We'll have to. That'll be interesting because like I think both of us have all three of these dungeons so far pretty grouped pretty tightly on our lists.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be is that a strong showing for a game if all of the dungeons are in relatively the same spot, even if they're not that high, or it doesn't matter how high on the list,
Yeah, I have sort of an idea about it, but I want to save it till we get there. But I mentioned it a little bit in the dungeon, but I'm having a lot of fun just playing this game right now, especially because we're doing it in smaller bunches, and I really have gotten into seeking out my my kinstone fusions after I do them, and
nice.
Uncovering things in a way the game's never really struck me before. And so I think the way we've been talking about it and covering it has made it a lot of fun, so I'm excited to continue on.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
All right, well, we'll see. Let's see, everyone, I should have said this earlier, but I'm like 15 subs away from 500 subscribers, which would be awesome. So if anyone is still listening at this point, we've already done the ranking, so you might as well just turn it off. But if you're listening, and you haven't subscribe. It would be awesome if I could hit 500.
Hit that subscribe button, people. It's right down there.
I always get one like at a pretty like slow but steady pace, and so it's always encouraging. But it's when you get to that close milestone where it's like, oh, I just want to hit it.
Yeah. Let's get that big burst of subs in.
Yeah, come on, let's sub. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, this has been a great season, and we'll see everybody in the next dungeon.